Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Banish the Doubt. Live your best life. Did you ever stop and think about when you were growing up, where did I come from? The question little kids ask, Mommy, Daddy, where did I come from? I want to also sort of underscore this message today as do not worry about a thing. It's because worrying is the ego. Control. Worry is control. It's a form of control, worrying. Fearing is a form of control. So, where did we come from? Well, we started out as a drop of human protoplasm, that blissful night when our parents had a moment. And that microscopic dot was formed. Inside that dot was the shape of our eye, the color of our hair, the color of our skin. This microscopic dot, you can get a million of these on the head of a pin. Now, just stop for a second. I want you to contemplate that. Mom and dad had this blissful moment. A drop of human protoplasm occurred, and a microscopic dot was formed. And a million of those could go on the head of a pin. But you want to find out where you came from. So scientists have looked at this, and they looked at this microscopic dot, and they found out, well, there was this future pull from this microscopic dot. And inside of this microscopic dot, there are particles. If you look inside, you put this microscopic dot under a microscope, and you turn up the 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 power of that. You'll see inside of it there are particles and molecules floating around. So you take one of these particles, or at least they did. They took one of these particles and they put it underneath another microscope, and they turned up the magnification even stronger on that. They found that there are these atoms, and they went inside these atoms. They went to another atomic microscope, turned up the magnification on that, and they found inside these atoms are more particles. But the one sort of constant so far in this, as if you're looking at where we came from, is that inside of these different parts of these little dots that a million get on top of the head of a pin, mostly space, nothing other than these little particles jumping around, like almost like a dance. Figure they're all flittering around. What we're trying to find, or at least scientists, and we are contemplating this question, and little kids do, where do we come from? So they took these, um, actually turned into protons and neutrons and electrons, and they took these electrons and they looked inside of those. And what they found was, they call them quarks. Okay, it's almost too much to comprehend that you're getting something this minuscule, this minute. But remember, they're looking to see where we came from. And inside this quarks, which is now quantum physics, again, is the shape of our eye, the color of our hair, the color of our skin, our weight, our size. Everything is inside these quarks. Um, Quantum physics. Deepak Chopra said quantum physics is actually stranger than we can think. Okay? So they take these particles inside these quarks and they put them on a particle accelerator or inside of a particle accelerator. And they revved up this accelerator and they had these particles collide at over 250,000 miles an hour. And when they collided, they opened up this particle accelerator. What did they find? Nothing. No thing. So, where you and I come from, the color of our hair, the shape of our eye, it comes from an energy field that has no boundaries, no beginnings, no ends. I know even for some of us hard to comprehend, but if we sort of stand back and think, then it's the ego. We get put inside this ego body when we come into the world. And the ego says who I am, what others think of me, what I do for a living, my accomplishments, these all represent who I am. When science has determined that who we are comes from a field that has no beginning and no end, if we look at Earth in the totality of the universe, it's like looking at one of those little stars at nighttime. We are just, Earth is a speck. So if we sort of stand back and look at this and we start to wonder, well, then who here has me at this position in my life where things aren't working out? It's our ego. Our ego says my thoughts or the thoughts that I have are mine. When in reality, thoughts are memories. That's all they are. We are taught, going back to the little child who's asking where did I come from? We are taught as little children, not to think for ourselves. Because if the parents are the adults who are worrying, then they're trying to control the little child. Now, I understand, I'm not saying that if Johnny or whatever wants to run outside and there's traffic coming, like, oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about worrying just in general, just because we give off that energy. Okay. As you think, so shall you be. Those are the 7 most important words to master. As I think, so shall I be. We start to look at our life from a perspective of, I have no fear. I have no worry. Everything always works out for me. We start to have these thoughts in our head that says, my life always works out for me, because really, when you think about it, it has. You come here, you're sitting here, you're watching this video, and for the most part, our lives have really worked out for us. Because we wouldn't be here watching this video today if it hasn't. So if we look at it from that perspective, and we start to take from this point forward, looking at our life as everything always works out for me, we start to recognize what we've been thinking about, and we start to tweak and change that. Because if we notice that where we come from is this energy field, or this field of energy, it has no beginning and no end, it is infinite. We start to life takes on different importance. The things that upset us no longer upset us. We start to think this way, where we start to kind of stand back and look and say, okay, what exactly is causing me to be upset in whatever situation it is? I like to use the analogy of the person driving their car in front of you. See, the ego says they're cutting me off. That's what the ego says. The ego says these people, nobody knows how to drive. That's the ego. We start to look back and say, okay, it's not the ego, it's me. I'm making these thoughts up. I'm choosing these thoughts. So in every minute of our day, we start to recalibrate our thinking. We start to recognize what we've been thinking about. And whatever it is from this point forward that you want to do, be, or have in your life, start to look at it through the lens or the filter of, I already have it. Start to develop an attitude of gratitude. The two most important parts of our day, to me anyway, the beginning of our day, when we first wake up, we open our eyes, and the last part of our day, when we close our eyes. That in between period, when we close our eyes until we open them up, whatever we're thinking about in that moment, or those moments, leading us into this period here where we're sleeping, those are the most important thoughts that we have. You want to start to incorporate a mindset when we're getting ready to go to sleep to rethink our day. Start to become grateful, because that's what's going to marinate inside of us when we're sleeping. It's those thoughts. And then when we have our thoughts when we wake up in the morning, gratitude. I'm so thankful for this day. I'm so thankful for whatever it may be, the sheets of the bed, the pillow of the bed, the floor you're walking on, the bathroom you're going to, whatever it may be, the people in your life, the fact that you have another day. You're so grateful for that. So we start our day off with an attitude of gratitude. We end our day with gratitude and with rethinking our day in a positive context. We start to think of ourselves as already doing, being, and having what we want. And we start to step away from worry, step away from fear, step away from control, trying to control things, trying to control outcomes. And we let go, and we learn to trust, and we learn to not doubt as much, not to fear as much, not to control as much. If you watch my video from yesterday, we learn to take our past and we leave it back there. We we disconnect from it. We understand it. We accept what has happened in our past, but we sort of cut the cord and we let go. So as we begin to let go, actually what we do is we become healthier for it, because we're not carrying as much weight around. So we learn to trust ourselves in this moment. We learn to have these affirmations that my life is perfect right now. Everything in my life is perfect. My life always works out for me. Everything in my life will always work out for me. An attitude of gratitude. We understand where we came from, this energy field, which is limitless. There's no beginning and there's no end. The only thing in between this is the ego. The ego says, thoughts that I have are mine. Okay? We have a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. We're allowing sort of life to kind of evolve and flow through us. We start to incorporate, guys, these ways of thinking, and I promise you, life will start to become much more lighter. You'll start feeling a lot better. Your diet will change. The way you look at yourself in the mirror will change. Your inner thoughts about yourself will change. So that's how we banish the doubt. We live our best life, and we do not worry about anything anymore. We let go and allow it to happen. Until I see you guys again, have a great day. Remember to like the videos, click on the notification bell, subscribe, comment down below if you'd like to, and please share this with as many people as possible as we get these messages out to as many people around the world as we can. Have a great day.